Now to our exclusive sit-down interview with former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Johnson resigned as Prime Minister in the UK back in July after a series of scandals, including hosting parties during the COVID-19 lockdown. Here in the U.S., though, Johnson is squarely focused on Ukraine and asking the government here to stay firm on its financial commitment that it's made as far as the war effort is concerned. Here's the first part of our wide-ranging conversation on Ukraine, Putin, the monarchy, and Johnson's political future.
Hello.
Prime Minister Linsey.
Linsey, how are you?
Very nice to meet you.
Very honoured to be invited on your show.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us.
Time.
Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on U.S. soil, here to urge Republican lawmakers and the U.S. as a whole to stay the course with aid to Ukraine. Just back from Ukraine.
Yes.
Tell me about what struck you the most.
I just think the extent of the damage. I was just in the outskirts of Kiev, but I saw such an incredible, catastrophic loss of the economy has been absolutely trashed. The suffering is colossal. The world is massively in the debt of the United States for helping the Ukrainians to fight this war. But number two, it is massively in the interests of the United States to see this thing through and to get victory for the Ukrainians.
You recently penned an op-ed, and the last line was, let's give Ukrainians what they need to win now.
Yeah.
What do they need most?
I could read out a whole list of the stuff that Volodymyr Zelensky wants. But I want to reassure people in America that this is not going to be just a conflict that goes on forever.
What brought you here to D.C.?
I'm here really to make it clear to American lawmakers, to the people of America as far as I'm able, how deeply grateful I think we in the UK, everybody in Europe, is to the United States for what you've done. I mean, look at it. This is a war that could so easily have gone the other way. Putin could have crushed this country. And what happened? The United States stepped in, gave the assistance, gave the training, gave the intelligence to help the Ukrainians to defend themselves. And that was a magnificent thing to do, absolutely magnificent. And all I want to say is that the United States, I hope, will stick with it. Are
you getting that sense of support today when you met with Kevin McCarthy, Mitch McConnell?
I did. You know, so everywhere everybody I've talked to, I talked to Speaker McCarthy, I talked to Mitch McConnell, loads of people, and I find a bipartisan support, as you know. And yeah, there are some people who are concerned about the cost, some people who are concerned about the plan, but I think in the end, everybody can see that this is a absolutely overwhelmingly important cause.
Boris Johnson has it right when it comes to Russia, Putin, and the Ukraine.
This is a pivotal moment in the 21st century. People will look back at the war in Ukraine. They will say, well, actually, the West stood up for itself, and America did what it did in the 1930s and 1940s, and actually came across and upheld the values of freedom and democracy and made the difference.
What do you say to those Republicans who are opposing sending more money? I mean, we heard in November, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a staunch Republican, said not another penny will go to Ukraine. Congressman Matt Gaetz tweeted, I will not vote for one more dollar to Ukraine. What do you say to those Republicans who so strongly oppose additional aid to Ukraine?
I just think that it's a massive investment. It's cheap at double the price. Because what you're doing, and I'm speaking just in purely financial or economic terms, you talk about the money. Yes, the United States has made a big financial commitment, but it is a fraction of the defense budget.
Will you meet with President Biden while you're here?
I'm a mere backbencher now.
In November, in an interview, you said that when it came to Ukraine, that you felt President Biden was doing an absolutely wonderful job. Would you still say the same?
I think that despite the enormous pressures that the United States has been under, the fiscal pressures that we've all been under, I think the leadership of the United States has been fantastic. And I think Joe has done a great job, but it's been bipartisan.
Just this past Saturday, Donald Trump at a rally said, if I were president, there would not have been a war in Russia and Ukraine. Zero chance. He went on to say, I would have a peace deal negotiated within 24 hours. You could make a peace deal for both right now, 24 hours. Do you agree with either statement?
Look, I mean, the president, former president, Donald, he's a great deal maker, but I don't think there's a deal here.
There was a snippet of the BBC documentary that was recently released where you say that Putin said to you on the phone, Boris, I don't want to hurt you, but with a missile, it would only take a minute. How did you respond?
Yeah, I thought he was trying to creep me out, right, in a sort of playful way, and he was really talking about the dangers of a missile exchange. I think that the crucial thing with all this is not to get sucked into that argument.
Do you think he's unhinged? What's his mindset?
Do you know, I think the less we talk about him, the better.
Just a quick question, because we've been talking about with Harry and all of that, and the Queen passing away. Do you think that the monarchy should have a different role in the future in the UK? I
think that one of the great achievements of Her late Majesty the Queen was that she greatly modernized the monarchy and did a huge amount to stabilize it and to prepare her son for kingship. And actually, I think that he's doing an absolutely bang-up job at the moment, and everybody can see it. And so, you know, I know that here in the United States you decided in 1776, for reasons that I can't fully explain, that you could rub along without the monarchy. Okay, that was your call. But we think it works very well.
Didn't work out too poorly.
Well, I think our system works well. I'll tell you why. Because what you have is a division between the political authority and the figurehead who incarnates all that's good and all that's wonderful about the history of the nation. And when those two roles are kind of bound up in one, constitutionally, that can be quite a pressure on whoever is supposed to occupy the office. And so having a monarch is a great thing for our country.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.